Hey everybody, and welcome to Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. On the bar for today, Kilkerran 12 versus the new Kilkerran 16 years old. As always here on the channel, I'm going to give you a nose taste finish review of these whiskeys. I'll tell you a bit about their value, give you my final thoughts, final scores, pick a winner, and kick you on over to your malt musing. But first, if you're returning to the channel, thanks so much for your support. Do remember to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And if you're here for the first time, take a second, hit subscribe. That'll make sure you don't miss any of my whiskey reviews, which come out every single Friday. And you will also get notifications for my Tuesday happy hour every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so the Kilkerran Distillery, located in Campbelltown, it is one of 3 distilleries still operating in Campbelltown, an area once famous for its Scotch whiskey production. Both of these releases come out of the Glengyle distillery. So the Kilkerran is a brand name coming out of Glengyle. And a little bit about each of these. So this 12-year-old, this was released in 2016. It is 12 years old. It is 46% ABV. Right on the back, non-chill filtered and no color added. They do not tell you what this has been matured in, unfortunately, but did a little digging on the internet, and what I can tell you, this is 70% first fill bourbon and 30% ex-sherry casks. So that is the specs on the 12-year-old. The 16 started showing up here in the States early 2021. This is also 46% ABV, non-chill filtered, natural color right on the back. This one also doesn't really give you any information on it, but what I was able to find out, it is 96% matured in bourbon casks and an additional 4% in Marsala wine casks. So that is the rundown on these 2 whiskeys. I'm going to get both of these in the glass right now, and we'll get into this tasting. I will mention that Kilkerran has been putting out quite a number of whiskeys over the last couple of years. This 12 and 16 represent some of the, I think 2 of the 3 age-stated ones that are in their core lineup. There's also an 8-year-old cask strength available both in bourbon and Oloroso, as well as a bunch of different NAS expressions, including their peat in progress line, which is a heavily peated Kilkerran. Okay, so we are going to start with the 12-year-old whiskey. Here is the color. As I said, these are natural colors. Kind of a nice pale, kind of like a bright gold. All right, let's get into it. First on the nose, very complex. The dominant note I pick up on this is grilled fruit, kind of like pineapple. Maybe even some kind of rich tropical fruit. There's a bit of a smokiness to it. I believe these do have some peat in them. It doesn't say explicitly, but I think there's a little bit of smoke in these from the peat. Vanilla, toffee, almond, roasted nuts. There's a lot happening. Kind of in the background, more kind of secondary notes, you're getting a hint of maybe barbecue, very faint. Gingerbread, and a slight mustiness to it as well. All right, let's go for a taste. Sláinte. Very rich, slippery. It arrives sweet with some bitter. Coats your whole mouth. Vanilla, sweet vanilla is very dominant on this. There's a hints of kind of ground cinnamon. That fruit note though is still there. It is like grilled fruit, or just like, you know, pineapple. A little bit of smoke, charcoal in the background. A little herbaceous. Finish is nice, medium long. It's a creamy, almost brown butter, toffee type thing, caramelized sugar. Bit of that smoke, a little bit drying, some dark chocolate. Really good. Really, really good. All right. We'll move on now to the 16-year-old. Again, this is natural color as well. That is the color we're looking at. little bit actually lighter, which makes sense considering it is not first fill bourbon. So you do expect these to have a little bit less of the heavy notes as we got on the 12, since this is not first fill. Wow. So initially on the nose, this is brighter. Lemon, lime, citrus, orange are really the things popping the most here. Again, a bit of that creamy vanilla. A little bit of tropical fruit, but it's more in the background. It's very juicy. This whiskey comes off a bit lighter on the nose compared to the 12, as we would expect given the difference in maturations to some degree. Just fresh fruit. A little bit of spice. It's almost like maybe kind of secondary notes. You're getting a little nutmeg, peppercorn, a little bit of smoke too. All right, Kilkerran 16, Sancha. Pretty rich as well. Arrives nice, sweet fruit, and again, vanilla, caramel. As it develops, it's just a bit stickier. The development goes a little bit longer, so you're starting to get more waves of flavor here. That tropical fruit note is there. There's an almond, very like distinct almonds note coming through. Creamier, has a little bit less tannicness as it goes into the finish as the 12 did. Milk chocolate instead of dark chocolate. Peaches. So both of these whiskeys, are very kind of bourbon cask influenced, fruit forward, and they're balanced both quite well, I will say. Okay, let's put just a couple drops of water on each of these, just to see what else we get out of them. So far, I've really enjoyed both of these. Okay. First of all, with the 12. Again, you're getting more kind of charred oak now in this. Campfire a little bit, like fresh wood. Wow. There's a surging kind of blueberry, raspberry note too. Water's really brought some different things to the table here. Yep, it does have a little bit of this, can't quite put my finger on it. Be like a paint varnish note, kind of tart and sharp. It's quite nice though. Again, just balance is really nice. Wow. Again, with the 12-year-old, it arrives sticky, viscous, full, rich. The water has brought out a bit more of the dark chocolate kind of, it's like a slight hazelnut note. It's sticking around a long time. That grilled fruit is still there. Wow. Again, that little like savory note. And a bit of minerality, like limestone water or something like that. It's a little bit heavy. All right. We'll go in with water now. I'm the 16-year-old Kilkerran. Wow. Butterscotch, peaches. There's almost a bit of like a chili powder spice to it. Kind of in the background, maybe even like smoked paprika if we're going to get really in the weeds with it. And that caramel, the vanilla, nice and strong on this. The citrus is still there. I think this one has, the water's definitely brought some other things to the table here too. Give it another taste. It's just a bit brighter than the 12. It's got the viscosity, but these kind of brighter notes aren't as impacted by the first fill bourbon. And so they get a chance to kind of show themselves a bit. There's some juicy fruit gum. Again, that citrus lime note. There's a little saltiness to this. Quite good. Okay, so let's talk value. A bottle of this Kilkerran 12, pretty readily available here in the United States. You should be able to find this. And if you do, you're going to see it anywhere in around the $65 to $70, maybe $75 mark. You know, that's a little high from what you see from a lot of other 12-year-old single malts out there, but I think you're still getting a good value given the quality of the craft put into this. And it really shows for sure, as the tasting just demonstrated. So I think this is a good value. The Kilkerran 16 is starting to become more and more available here in early 2021 in the States. This one, you're going to be looking at much closer to like $140 to $150 at retail. You may find it a little cheaper, and you'll definitely see it some places more expensive. You know, I think I'll give this a moderate value score. I do think that the craft again is really good on this, but you are looking at double the price here, and so we're going to factor that in when we go through these final scores. So, okay, final thoughts here. I really enjoy what Kilkerran's doing. I think they're really seizing on the trend that we're starting to see slowly with more and more kind of craft presentation, single malts coming out in the tradition of Campbelltown, especially when you have places like Springbank who've always done it the more craft presentation way. It's great to see another Campbelltown option. It does have some of that signature Campbelltown funk for the Scotch heads out there. You can find it in here. You know, I think that this 16-year-old is a welcome addition. It is, like I said, it's a little bit lighter. It doesn't have as much of that, the darker notes that are coming from the sherry and bourbon in the 12. And while I think it is a really good whiskey, I think it's more of a half step up from the 12, not necessarily like a full step up. It's good, but I think it just doesn't bring quite enough to kind of wow you like you would expect from, you know, an older whiskey coming out of a line like this in a lot of cases. So, you know, my pick here, if I was at the store, I think if I'm going to repeat purchase, it's going to be the 12-year-old. And I think if I was going to recommend one of these to somebody looking to try a Kilkerran, I would say the 12-year-old is probably the way to go in terms of the value. And I think that, you know, it just has that grilled fruit note that I think is just fantastic in that. You really don't pick that up in a lot of other whiskeys. Both of these are not starter whiskeys if you're just getting into your journey. They do have a lot of complexity, and you know, if you've been drinking Scotch for a while, I think you'll then appreciate them. So my final scores here, the Kilkerran 12-year-old, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. And the Kilkerran 16-year-old, I'm going to give a 3.75 out of 5. Okay, so those are your scores. The winner of this tasting versus is whatever you want to call it, Kilkerran 12 years old. This is a great whiskey. Keep your eyes peeled for it. And with that, I will kick you over to your malt musing, and we'll see you next time here in Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Sláinte y'all.